Course title: Quality Health, Safety and Environment Studies. Module 1: Foundations of HSE Practices and Risk Management. Introduction. Welcome to this comprehensive lecture on quality health, safety and environment studies, a vital component in today's industrial, environmental, and health-conscious workplaces. This course is designed to provide you with a solid foundation in HSE principles, helping you understand how safety, health, and environmental management contribute to the sustainability of organizations, industries, and communities. In this first module, we will cover topics related to housekeeping, communication, protective equipment, fire and emergency response, accident prevention, workplace performance, and waste management, especially within the oil and gas industry. Good housekeeping in HSE. Good housekeeping refers to the maintenance of cleanliness and organization in the workplace. It plays a significant role in ensuring safety and operational efficiency. In HSE, good housekeeping minimizes hazards such as tripping, slipping, and falling, and ensures that tools and equipment are stored properly and safely. A well-kept workplace reduces clutter, improves morale, and boosts productivity. Good housekeeping practices include regular cleaning schedules, proper labeling and storage of materials, timely disposal of waste, maintaining clear aisles and exit routes, regular inspection and maintenance of equipment. Neglecting housekeeping can lead to accidents, fire hazards, and poor working conditions. Organizations should implement housekeeping as part of their daily safety routines. HSE communication. Communication is a critical element in any health and safety management system. Effective communication ensures that employees understand safety procedures, hazard controls, and emergency protocols. It includes verbal and written communication, safety meetings, incident reports, hazard warnings, signage, and training materials. An effective HSE communication strategy includes clear messaging on safety policies and procedures, open feedback channels for hazard reporting, regular safety briefings and toolbox talks, use of visual aids like posters and signs, ensuring language and literacy considerations are addressed. Good communication fosters a culture of safety and accountability in the workplace. Health, Safety, and Environment Management Systems, HSEMS. An HSE management system is a structured framework for managing health, safety, and environmental issues within an organization. The system integrates planning, implementation, monitoring, and review mechanisms to promote continuous improvement in HSE performance. Key elements of an HSEMS include policy development, risk assessment and hazard control, objectives and performance standards, training and competency, emergency preparedness and response, incident investigation and reporting, performance monitoring and audits. A well-designed HSEMS aligns with international standards such as ISO 14001 for environmental management and ISO 45001 for occupational health and safety. Personal protective equipment, PPE. Personal protective equipment includes items worn by workers to protect against health and safety risks. The type of PPE required depends on the nature of the work and the associated hazards. Common types of PPE include safety helmets and goggles, earplugs or earmuffs, respirators and face masks, gloves and protective clothing, safety boots and harnesses. Proper PPE usage involves selection based on risk assessment, training on correct usage, maintenance and replacement, enforcement of compliance. PPE serves as a last line of defense when engineering and administrative controls are not sufficient. Fire safety management. Fire safety management involves the implementation of policies, procedures, and practices to prevent fire outbreaks and ensure preparedness in the event of a fire emergency. Key aspects include identification of fire hazards, installation and maintenance of fire alarms and extinguishers, regular fire drills and evacuation plans, Staff training on fire response. Proper storage of flammable materials. A fire safety plan must be tailored to the specific risks of the workplace and comply with relevant regulations. First aid and emergency response. First aid refers to the immediate assistance given to a person suffering from an injury or illness until professional medical help arrives. It includes managing cuts, burns, fractures, and more serious conditions like cardiac arrest. Components of effective first aid response include trained first aid personnel, accessible first aid kits, clearly marked emergency exits, emergency contact information, regular drills and preparedness training. Emergency response systems are critical for saving lives and minimizing injury during workplace incidents. Hazard types and risk management. A hazard is any source of potential harm or adverse health effect on a person or the environment. Risk is the likelihood that a person may be harmed if exposed to a hazard. Types of hazards include physical, noise, heat, vibration; chemical, gases, dust, fumes; biological, bacteria, viruses; ergonomic, repetitive motion, poor posture; psychological, stress, harassment. Risk management involves identifying hazards, evaluating the associated risks, and implementing control measures. It follows the hierarchy of control, which prioritizes elimination, substitution, engineering controls, administrative controls, and PP. Job hazard analysis, JHA. Job hazard analysis is a process used to identify and control hazards associated with specific job tasks. It involves breaking down a job into steps, identifying potential hazards for each step, and determining the safest way to perform the job. Steps in JHA include selecting the job to be analyzed, breaking the job into sequential steps, identifying hazards at each step, developing preventive measures, reviewing and updating the analysis regularly. JHA is a proactive tool for preventing workplace accidents and promoting a safety culture. Causes of accidents and prevention. Workplace accidents are often caused by unsafe acts, unsafe conditions, or a combination of both. Some common causes include inadequate training, poor supervision, equipment failure, fatigue and stress, ignoring safety procedures. Prevention strategies include safety training and education, regular equipment inspections, clear policies and enforcement, encouraging worker participation in safety programs, root cause analysis of incidents. Understanding accident causation helps in designing more effective prevention systems. Workplace HSE performance assessment. Assessing HSE performance helps organizations identify strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement. Performance metrics can be leading, proactive, or lagging, reactive. Examples of HSE performance indicators include number of training sessions conducted, frequency of safety audits, number of reported incidents, lost time injury frequency rate, LTIFR. Employee safety engagement levels. Continuous monitoring and evaluation allow for evidence-based decision-making and promote a culture of continuous improvement. Benefits of good HSE practices. Effective HSE management brings numerous benefits to an organization. Reduced workplace injuries and illnesses. Lower absenteeism and higher productivity. Enhanced employee morale. Reduced environmental impact. Legal compliance and reduced liabilities. Positive corporate reputation. Investing in HSE is not only ethically right but also economically beneficial. Waste management in oil and gas industry. The oil and gas industry generates various types of waste that must be managed to protect the environment and public health. Waste management involves collection, segregation, treatment, and disposal. Types of oil and gas waste include drilling fluids and cuttings, produced water, tank bottom sludge, contaminated soil. Chemical containers. Proper classification helps determine the appropriate treatment and disposal method. Classification of EMP waste. Exploration and production (EMP) waste is categorized based on physical and chemical properties. It may be classified as hazardous or non-hazardous, solid or liquid, and organic or inorganic. Accurate classification is crucial for complying with regulations, selecting treatment options, protecting environmental and human health. Waste audits and characterization are essential components of a robust waste management program. Treatment methods for oil and gas waste. Various treatment methods are employed depending on the type of waste and its potential environmental impact. These include thermal desorption, bioremediation, chemical treatment, incineration, physical separation techniques e.g., filtration, centrifugation. Treatment helps in reducing the volume and toxicity of waste before disposal or reuse. It must align with national environmental standards and international best practices. DPR and FIPA guidelines. The Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, and the Federal Environmental Protection Agency, FIPA, provide regulatory guidelines for environmental protection in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. Key guidelines cover waste handling and disposal, emissions control, spill response and remediation, environmental impact assessments, EIA, compliance monitoring and reporting. Adherence to these guidelines ensures environmental sustainability and regulatory compliance. In the next module, we will dive deeper into environmental impacts of oil and gas production, pollution mitigation, environmental parameters, the role of nanoparticles, and a detailed overview of environmental impact assessment, EIA.